Hey guys, so I've been looking at Gevo quite a bit since my last video. I've done some thinking, and I want you to tell me if I'm completely crazy here. Now, I already did a video on Gevo, which you can go watch up here, in which I go all into the stock. Now, I'm not going to go into everything in this video, so please watch that video first, then come back. Alright, back? Good. Now let's talk. Now, and at the end of this video, I will give you my all-in plan on the stock. So, I'm mostly on board with Gevo. There are a few things which sort of turn me off a little bit, but we're going to talk about that. Like, it's had a very, very, very rough decade, but it seems to be getting its act together. It has several contracts that are supposed to come into fruition in 2024. And these, first of all, these aren't small customers. These aren't small time. These are big name customers. We're talking Delta Airlines, Air Total, HCS Group, Scandinavian Airlines. Like, these are big name customers. These aren't potential customers. These are customers that have already signed and are already on board with Gevo as of right now. And we're talking $1.5 billion in these contracts. So this is $1.5 billion worth of revenue that are supposed to come into fruition in 2024. And all Gevo has to do is hold up their end of the bargain. And these are take or pay, which means that even if these customers decide to pull out of the bargain, as long as Gevo does its end, like even if Delta decides not to buy any product, they still have to pay a certain amount. So no matter what, as long as Gevo holds up their end of the bargain, and we're going to talk about that in a second, as long as Gevo holds up their end of the bargain, we got $1.5 billion coming in 2024. Right now, Gevo is in the middle of a contract with the city of Seattle, and it has been since 2019, to supply it biofuel over the next 4 years as of 2019 with 3 2-year extensions. So that is guaranteed money as long as Gevo continues to hold up their end of the bargain. And this bit of news just came in as of the 3rd. Now, I'm recording this on Tuesday evening. You'll be seeing this Wednesday or Thursday. But Total Cray Valley and Gevo to further scale up development of renewable from fossil oil. So basically, they have been locked into a contract, a joint development agreement, phase 1 for a while, and Total Cray Valley is so impressed that they have decided to scale up their agreement to phase 2. Now, I don't know what these phases mean. I still have yet to look into it, but so far this is very good. And I want to show you something down here. Now, this comes from the senior vice president at Total Cray. We were very satisfied with the results of the pilot tests during phase 1. Gevo's technology was found to be robust and flexible, and the initial economic assessment shows potential for a profitable business. And in another bit of recent positive news, Gevo just broke a milestone. They broke ground on their renewable natural gas project in northwest Iowa. Now, they are building a renewable natural gas plant, which is expected to go into production sometime in, I think, the second half of 2022. Now, they actually didn't say when it was going to happen in 2022, just that it was going to happen during that year. And I'm excited about this one. For one, they're going to use this to augment their net zero plant, which is supposed to create the hydrocarbons for all their other projects and stuff, which is supposed to supply their contracts. And two, they can actually sell this RNG to customers, potentially customers like Hyliion. And there are other opportunities for this company to make money. Like, for example, this is their net zero project in which they're supposed to build a plant that produces hydrocarbons, isobutanol, and other stuff to create the fuel that they need to complete all their, $1.5 billion in contracts. The byproduct of this, one of them is high protein animal feed, which they can then sell. Again, lots of opportunities for revenue here and growth. So there are a lot of locked-in opportunities for this company. So am I all in? Well, let's talk about that for a second. The thing we need to understand is that the bang from those opportunities aren't going to be felt until 2024. So apparently we are paying now for benefits that we're not going to see for a couple of years. And that's if everything goes smoothly. Now, Gevo seems to be doing pretty well now, making moves and actually getting stuff done. But it has had a previous decade of, let's call it misfortune. Now, let's use this opportunity to segue into the downside. So, what could go wrong? Well, realistically, one of the first things that come to mind is that Gevo doesn't fulfill these contracts. Maybe there's a delay on the renewable natural gas plant, a delay on their hydrocarbon plant, a delay in getting the products they need to hold their end of the bargain for the contracts. And depending on how badly that goes, these customers, they could pull out of the contract. And if Gevo screws up and these contracts get, reduced or canceled, that's going to destroy all the good faith that's been built up for Gevo all these years. Also, what they're expecting to be performing at in 2024 is not how they're performing now. If we take a look at their financials, just their income statement for now, we can see like their revenue has dropped. Now, the reason for this, according to their 10K, is because of COVID, their Laverna facility, which was the thing that was making them the most money, has been shut down. It happened it happened during the national lockdown last year. And as of recording this video, the site is still locked down. Now, I did read how they're trying to open up in the latter half of this year, but that remains to be seen. Now, one thing I will give them credit for, and I gave them credit for this last video, is they have an amazing balance sheet. Now, this is what got me interested in them. They have an absolutely outstanding balance sheet, and they paid off most of their debt as of last earnings. So that is absolutely phenomenal, and I'm really excited for this company's liquidity going forward. Now, as far as their metrics, like none of these make this price attractive, a fair price or undervalued or anything like that. This price is probably overvalued if you consider it by Yahoo standards. Now, these standards only go forward 1 year at best. Customers or investors who are buying this stock, at least the investors who have done their research, are not buying this stock for next year. They are buying the stock probably for 2024. So we need to keep that in mind. And that is perfectly fine, and I'm happy to support them as long as I feel Gevo won't screw it up. So this is my plan, and here's where I want you to tell me if I'm completely crazy here. So Gevo has earnings next week on May the 13th. Now, if Gevo's price falls, and I just did some basic, rudimentary calculations based on price to sales based on 2024, assuming we have faith that they're going to make the 1.5 billion then. I did some price to sales, and I think that if the price falls to $6 or below in the short term between now and then, I may start a small position, but not a really, really big one. Now, when these earnings happen, I want to listen. Basically, I want to like what I hear. I want to hear some progress. I don't want to hear any delays. I want to hear an upbeat earnings call and an upbeat earnings report. Now, if that happens and I'm satisfied, and if the price craters, that's an all-in. If it drops to $5 or below, that's when I'm going to start increasing my position heavily. And if we take a look at the earnings, at least their history, at least on the EPS side, they've been missing most of them. So we don't know if they're going to beat or miss. But as far as my strategy is concerned, it doesn't matter. If the price goes up a bunch and I had my small position, then that's fine. I have 3 years. Like, I am going to be very patient with this stock. I have 3 years before this thing is supposed to get the revenue that I want. So I have no problems waiting for this price to continue. If it goes up after earnings, I have no problems waiting for this price to go back down to $6 if it ever goes back down. If it doesn't, that's fine. There are other stocks in the market. And to wrap things up like I do every week, let me show you my portfolio. Now, my strategy is I put in $1,400 into my money market every single month, and then, well, now I've been hoarding since everything is sky high. Even now that we took a beating, especially in tech stocks, I have no reason to spend any of this money. So right now I'm putting $1,400 and I'm waiting for deals. Now, Hyliion is the only position I'm down big, but my position in Hyliion is done. I'm not adding any more shares for the time being. Right now, I have an equity total portfolio balance of $51,365.49. I am up right now 36.81%. Now, I did have a strategy to sort of trickle money into dividend stocks little by little because I want to get my annual earnings from dividends up to $1,000. But look at this stuff. All these are sky high. Even AT&T, those are approaching all-time highs. Verizon is kind of getting there. There aren't any stocks I want to put my money in for the time being. So, anyways, take care, have a great day, and eat your vegetables.